Before I have a chance to get my bearings, Kara immediately pulls me down. I'm about to protest when she puts a finger to her lips. She points to a row of bushes keeping us from sight. I nod my understanding and stay quiet. Looking around, I see the tall trees overhead form a thick canopy. With what leaves? They're barren as far as I can see. I mean, for the most part. Certainly nothing to cause a thick canopy. The tree trunks are thick and gnarled. Many of them have heavy scarring. The grass beneath my feet feels thin and hard. When I look further out, the landscape changes to a barren patch of dry ground flocked with craters. It looks like some serious damage took place here. Footsteps sound nearby. I see a patrol group pass close to us. I hold my breath as they walk by. Luckily, they don't spot us. When they're out of sight, I breathe a sigh of relief. Kara relaxes slightly, as do the rest of my teammates. Where are we?
It would appear we are on the former battleground of the Battle of Asaria.
Okay, so now we do know where we are. I take another look at the harsh land. It must have been a really intense battle to have scarred the landscape this much. Liana looks at her manipulator.
I'm scanning extremely high levels of shadow energy here.
Good. I mean, that's why we're here.
As am I. It is without question this is where Void's main base of operation is.
She fiddles with her manipulator.
And the energy type is specific to being transmuted into tainted energy.
Can't say I'm surprised.
Yeah.
This doesn't add up. You would think a place where Void was last strongest would be a place that would be monitored.
No, it looks pretty abandoned.
According to the Mage Guild reports, they do monitor here.
Then what gives?
The shadow energy here is vast. It would appear Void has used this to their advantage, to not only mask their energy signature, but to also shroud themselves from the eyes of scouts. We, however, appear to have pierced the veil by being on the inside of it.
So no mage knights were ever inside the veil? The shadow elementals send us inside their defenses. That's helpful. It is, but a little weird still. Void shouldn't be underestimated. They're dangerous, but not stupid.
Look there!
Well, that makes them even more dangerous. That's so they're dangerous but not stupid. That's weird. Liana points into the distance. Tendrils of shadow crawl towards the sky. They flicker and dance above the skyline. Amelia checks her manipulators again.
That location has the highest concentration of energy.
Guess that's where we're heading.
Then that's where we need to go to stop them.
The group readies themselves as Zack surveys the surroundings.
There's a lot of ground between us and them. Not to mention all the patrols, guards, and lookouts they'll have.
He is right. One does not simply walk into the heart of Void's operation.
Sorry, Lord of the Rings meme. Y'all know what I'm thinking. What if I use shadow magic? Kara can sneak us in. See, the thing is, I have never used shadow magic. And so I don't think that I could trust myself to use it to get me inside, let alone the whole group. I think, honestly, it's better to follow our trusty rogue. You know, let her identify, like, patrol patterns, let her find, you know, spots of cover, and then do our best to try to follow after. I just think the top one is too presumptuous and risky. Isn't Kara good at the whole sneaking business?
I am, but there's too much open ground. Plus, we're traveling in a group.
Oh, right. That was a stupid suggestion. No, it wasn't. But maybe I can use my newfound energy. You know what is a stupid suggestion? If we have to call either of them stupid, it's, hey, you know this dangerous energy that I literally just got and have never, like, had a chance to use? Maybe we should use that to get all of us across. That's the more stupid suggestion between the two, and I stand by that. I would have been fine if she were just, here's my explanation, I would have been like, oh, that's fair. And then we just move on. But for the main character to be like, that was a stupid suggestion. No, because that feels like it's trying to shove it in my face that I made a poor decision. And I didn't. I made the smarter decision of the two. Or at least the more sensible one. Maybe not the smarter in terms of the way that the writers wrote the game. But as far as like actually using logic and thinking about it, mine was the smarter one. Rant done. I think I have a way. It just stopped at A. They look at me. I have shadow magic now. What if we turn it around on them and I'll shroud us in a shadow cloak? They seem skeptical.
You've never cast shadow magic before.
What? Oh, that never occurred to me. I can try. I closed my eyes and focused on the icy emptiness I felt when the shadow energy poured into me. I remember its soft, biting touch. I raise my hand and a dark bubble of shadow engulfs us. It's reminiscent of the bubble Amelia enclosed us in at the water temple. Zack and Kara inspect the bubble, poking cautiously at the sides. Liana seems impressed.
You did it!
Most impressive, although not surprising considering his previous mastery of the elements.
That's still though, like, it was difficult at the beginning to create like a single little flame in my hand. You know, to suddenly jump from I have energy, let's use it to create an impenetrable bubble that'll cover all of us, that will travel with us, and that they won't be able to penetrate. Like that is surprising.
Let us make haste.
I wouldn't be as defensive if they didn't call my suggestion stupid. But like, yeah, this works within the story, but just because they wrote it to that way, that doesn't mean that it's necessarily the better option. Mine was definitely the more safer, in my opinion. I focus my attention on the shadow shroud as we shuffle out of cover. My heart pounds in my chest. Will this actually keep us hidden? It better. We pause as we hear more footsteps. Another set of patrols come our way. I hold my breath as they near, then sigh out when they walk past us. The shroud successfully kept us hidden. Good. Quickly but quietly, we continue towards the center of the encampment. We make good progress, stopping only when we get too close to the patrols. I keep the shadow shroud around us, feeling the energy flowing out of me. Even though I've been casting for this long, I don't feel tired. All of that training has finally paid off! How convenient. Eventually, we reach the inner circle. There's a circle of robed figures. Their dark hoods cover their faces, but the deep purple robes of void mages are unmistakable. The purple shadows fly around them, whispering and mixing with their chants. The tendrils whip wildly in the air as it continues to grow. They thicken the sky, shielding the light within a dark cloud. This is a lot more magic than we originally saw. We're about to form a plan when one of the guards looks in our direction. His gaze pierces through my shroud and he seems to look right at us. What's going on? I haven't stopped my magic. The rest of his squadron is staring at us too. I take another look at their uniforms. They wear armor and carry a sword, but also have manipulators. It reminds me of Liana's garb. Are these Void Mage Knights?
I have a bad feeling about this.
As one, they draw their swords. The metal ringing echoes. What? As one, they draw their swords. The metal ringing echoes in the air. I feel like that's just a comma spice or something again. Well, it's just ringing. It's not a comma spice. It's just ringing echoes I'm not used to seeing. Anyway, their manipulators start to glow.
They found us! Dodge!
Oh, there being the swords, metal ringing, as they're drawn from the sheaths, echoes in the air. Okay, I get it. Yeah, dodge! A flurry of shadow bolts fire in our direction. We leap out of the way. My concentration is broken and the shroud collapses. Not that it was doing us any good by that point. The Void Knights dash towards us as purple energy gathers in their hands.
We need to reach the mages and stop whatever they're doing.
Agreed. I don't think Void Knights are going to let us through that easily.
Then we'll fight right through them!
We ready ourselves for action, and I ready myself for a minigame. Click the matching icon. Okay, here we go. Oh, they're different now. Okay, well there's one different icon. I don't remember the ice before. Wind! My breath comes in ragged gasps as I face the next Void Knight, but I don't hesitate. As he swings, I whip past him and his sword pierces empty air. I strike from behind, knocking the sword out of his hand. Then, using the blunted end of my blade and augmented by a rush of wind, I knock him out. He crumples to the ground. The rest of my team stand with me as we scan the area for more enemies. The ground is littered with fallen Void Knights, but the circle of mages still stands. Their chanting grows in volume as the shadows continue to multiply. They ignore our presence, entranced in their own world.
Perform the final channel.
Oh no!
No!
Liana and Amy throw magic as the mages pour all of their energy into the dark shadow. Zack and Kara start to race towards the circle, but a wave of darkness washes over us, flinging us back. Zack, you realize you have guns, right? You still remember that? We're too late. The dancing shadow warps and surges. Flickering claws reach out as it bursts through the ground and engulfs the circle. The darkness swells and reaches taller than the meager trees, blinding me with its blanket of shadow. I hear the faint cackle of the mages as a surge of purple energy explodes. Shielding my eyes from the blast, I put a hand forth and summon a barrier of opaque shadow to protect us from the shockwaves. As the magic slowly ebbs, I blink my eyes back into focus. The entire place is littered with fallen void. Only my friends and I were protected from the blast. However, the shadows twist away to reveal empty eyes. They curl into long claws and sharp teeth, and I gape at the monstrosity looming in the sky.
What is that?
I have never seen such a creature before.
I'm glad I didn't leave them to deal with this on their own, even if that actually had been an option. I'm sure it actually was. Leanna takes in the scene of fallen victims, her mouth twisting into a frown.
And it left a full trail of destruction as it emerged, without discriminating between void or anything else.
A piercing howl deafens us as the creature screams. It swipes a long claw at us, but I erect another barrier. Although I managed to block the attack, we're still pushed back by the sheer force of the power. Crack! Zack's discharger goes off, shocking us back to life. The energy is absorbed by the creature, and Zack's eyes widen as it fixes its lifeless stare onto him. Is it because it was shadow energy? It swipes another claw at us, but this time I can't block it in time, and we're sent flying across the camp. My cheek scrapes along the ground as I fall hard. My team struggles to their feet beside me. Amy conjures a flaming sphere between her hands and launches it at the creature. The ball of fire disperses harmlessly across the shadow beast. Undeterred, Amy tries to freeze it in place, but it blocks her magic, leaving it unscathed. It roars as it swipes another claw at Amy, but Kara pushes her out of the way, and she takes the brunt of the attack. She's knocked back against a tree and slides limply to the ground. Amy rushes over to her. In the meantime, Leanna races around the creature, trying to draw its attention. Her sword glows a pale blue as she hacks at the shadow creature's base. It roars again, and coils of shadows wrap around Leanna's legs. She manages to wriggle free, but the tendrils are relentless, and soon she's trapped, not tripped. All of our attacks are futile against the creature. Leanna and Zack motion for a retreat, but the creature shoots out shadows to block our escape. Slowly, the shadows surround us and close in. We're forced to remain and fight. We share a glance and nod. We have to work together to take this thing down. Leanna and Kara both run in. Amy sends bolts of ice towards the monster, freezing any tendrils which try to escape just in time for Leanna to slice them down. The creature howls in pain. He tries to swipe at Leanna, but Amy burns his claws with a ball of fire and it recoils from the heat. Zack aims his discharges and shoots at any tendrils which try to reach Kara, while Kara furiously cuts ribbons of shadow off of the beast. Again, the beast lets out another shriek as the tendrils coil back. I bring up an earthen barrier to shield Amy as a sneaky shadow tendril tries to strike her, then I cut it down with my sword. I blast the creature with a burning fireball and send a burst of wind behind it. The resulting explosion is twice as big as it hits the creature straight in the chest. It stumbles back as we continue to advance. It looks like we're doing some damage. Another surge of adrenaline kicks in as I let loose another fireball. The beast lets out another scream, one so shrill I feel it in my bones. It swells in size, growing and surging until it blocks out the sky completely. Raising its claw, it pummels us with a series of fast attacks. I bring up a shield, but the claw rips right through it. We're sent sprawling across the ground again. My face burns as I scrape the dirty ground. Feeling bruised, we push ourselves back to our feet. We can't give up now. The creature watches us struggle and splits into a chaotic grin. As I stumble back onto my feet, I look at the rest of my team still on the ground. They groan as they push themselves to their feet. My legs shake as I steady myself. We can't go on like this. I can already feel the exhaustion setting in. I won't be able to keep this up forever. Either I run out of energy or my body gives up on me. A thought nibbles at the back of my mind. But what if I use up all of my remaining energy and channel it into one powerful blast? I know that if I do that, there's no coming back from it. My body is already close to hitting the point of exhaustion, and Amelia's warned me multiple times about what will happen if I channel too much energy at once. But this may be our only chance at stopping this creature. Again, I'm gonna save for future me, in case I want to go back and try something else. That's what these save salts are for, but I'm gonna do it. All those temples we visited, all that energy I accumulated. I feel it humming deep within me, a gentle reminder that it's still there, as if it knows its time has come. It was all for this moment. The energy within me itches to be released, but I pause. That explosion of energy is dangerous for my friends too. I don't want them to get caught in the blast. I need to get them to a secure location. I can't channel all of my energy, shield my friends, and fight off the creature simultaneously. But how do I get them to go?
Boy.
I look down at the Pongo. What is he doing here? He looks up at me and his eyes harden. His body buzzes like the energy within me. I think he can sense what I need to do.
Boy.
I can feel the energy surrounding him too. My energy, which he's slowly been storing all this time. It sings to each other, wanting to be whole again. I think the Pongo wants to let it free. But what will happen to you? Because that is his nourishment. The Pongo gives me a knowing look. His eyes harden with determination. What will happen to him is the same thing that'll happen to me if I unleash all of my energy at once. And you would still do it?
Boy.
A mix of emotions roil within me. I don't want to lose him, but I understand the decision that he's made. It's the same decision that I'm making. Stay back! I push my teammates behind me as I step between them and the creature. I have to use all of my energy to protect my friends, to protect Terra, no matter the cost. If I have to risk my life to protect those I love, then that is one risk I'm willing to take. The Pongo hops forward with me.
What are you doing?
What we have to do.
Boy.
The Pongo's voice feels small, but the determination in his eyes is strong.
Wait!
The Pongo closes his eyes and a bright light encapsulates him like a shining halo. The light hardens around us, forming a magical barrier. The dome cages me and the Pongo in with the Shadow Beast, leaving my friends safely on the outside. I see my teammates shouting. They sound faint and far away. I can't make out their words, but I can still hear the pain in their voices. Soon, that is drowned out by the cry from the creature. It writhes in pain, twisting away from the bright light shielding it. With the barrier in place, I concentrate on the energy within me. Liana steps towards the protective shield, her eyes glittering. Ah! She places her hands against the grid, banging against it. Her screams are muffled, as is the pounding of her fists against the dome. Energy from the dome sparkles each time she pounds against it. I shake my head. I can't hear her. She shakes her head, her hands trembling against the barrier. My heart aches as I watch her face fall. She looks so helpless and lost, and it's all my fault. But this is the only way I know I can protect her. Aww. I smile softly and place my hand against hers. The shield feels cool as the hum of energy vibrates beneath my fingers. She overlaps her hands perfectly against mine, but her warmth doesn't penetrate the cold, hard barrier. I'll keep you safe, I promise. She shakes her head again. Her eyes widen and she pounds against the shield again. The tears flow down her cheeks as she shouts again. Liana. She pauses as her hands cling to the dome, her eyes glittering. I'm so lucky to have met you. I know our time together was short, but I wouldn't have traded it for anything in the world. You're the best thing to have ever happened to me. Even though she can't hear me, she sees the expression on my face, and the tears spill over again, leaving twin trails of wetness down her cheeks. I think this... right? I think that's the fair one. After everything. I don't care that we're no longer together. There's a chance I won't see her again, and I need to tell her exactly how I feel. Liana, I love you. Oh no! I'm gonna take a breath before I get more choked up. I think that's the first time this game has done that, so good job. She gasps sharply as she reads my lips. She clutches at the barrier. Then she uses her wind magic to try to break through the shield. When that doesn't work, she grabs her sword, but none of her strikes make a dent. Which I would hope, honestly, because if those broke through, then my magic is certainly going to. I give her one last smile and turn towards the beast. The shadow creature bares its teeth and lets out an otherworldly howl. He continues to reel back from the light surrounding him. All of my rage and pent-up frustration bubbles within me. Remembering the malicious glee on that beast's face is what forces my anger to boil over. How dare that thing try to hurt my friends? How dare it threaten Terra? I won't let it. A scream rips out of my throat as I let the anger wash over me. It burrows deep into my bones, igniting the energy within me. All of the feelings of each element roils within me. The tranquility, chaos, rejuvenation. I feel the wide, hot flash as all of the energy races through me, itching to be released. The light finally dissipates around the creature and it blinks a few times, trying to refocus. When it sees me, it growls and tries to swipe at me, but another shield blocks it. The Pongo made sure I would have enough time to channel all of my energy. won't forget what you've done for me. Feeling a renewed strength, I continue to gather the energy within me. Final stand, here we go. I don't think this is entirely... Oh! Bloody heck! Never mind, I take it back. Win. I was gonna say, it took a bit out of the moment, but all of that's fine. The Shadow Beast howls and wails on the extra barrier. With each solid hit, I begin to see fractures forming along the surface. Just as the energy is about to overwhelm me, I throw out my arms and the power rises out of me, materializing as 5 pointed swords, all deadly sharp and all poised to strike at the creature. As they emerge, they pierce what remains of my barrier, dispatching kaleidoscopes of light at the beast. It shrinks from the light, howling with rage. My mind is strangely calm, my senses sharpened. I can smell the crackle of energy in the air. It's sweet yet spicy. The hair on my neck stands on end as the remaining energy continues to surge within me. As the beast shakes off the last of the light, it refocuses on me, baring its teeth. You don't scare me! I open my eyes wide again and force all of my remaining energy into each blade as it shoots out. The creature readies itself for impact. Instead, I force the blades into the ground, fracturing the earth and creating a perimeter around the beast. A beam of golden light shoots straight up from the swords. The Shadow Beast blinks as it shields its eyes from the light. When nothing more happens, it growls at me, readying another attack. Before it can, more beams of light splinter off from the swords and surround the creature. The feelings uncoil within me as the energy flashes into existence. Fire, earth, water, wind, shadow. The beast twists around, confused by the light, which continues to grow and grow in brightness. My body feels heavy as the energy gushes out of me. The light becomes blinding as my legs give out beneath me. I'm on the ground, but the energy continues to expel out of my body. I can't control it anymore. With each wave of energy, my body heaves. Exhaustion blankets me and makes my body feel heavy. And yet, the brilliant light blazes hot, blinding me, and chases the shadows away. You shall not... GG. Cool guys don't look at his club. Totally. With my final ounce of strength, I pour all of the remaining energy into the swords. The creature lets loose an anguished scream as it begins to dissolve. The scream lingers in my mind, resonating in my ears. Through the blinding whiteness, I imagine Leanna's smile, just as dazzling as the light. And then, nothing. It's over. It's finally over. My friends are safe, and that's what's important. With a smile on my face, I let the brightness wash over me as my world falls silent. But do we come back? Because we're not... I don't think we're dead. I assume we're not dead. It could end that way, and I'd honestly be satisfied, but I assume we're not. But do I have to click again? I may have to click again. I'm gonna click again. Cue outro, go!